Okay. Hello. Hello. Ah, mic testing. Okay. Hello. Hello. Let's see. Let's test the mic. Hmm. Okay, mic's working. So UZK, the audio input capture one UZK also. फिर और करे this way. ग्लो वाला है ना. Hello. Oh, ये mic ये system को करे. But I don't need system को mic working anyways. So I think we can begin. Mic ये system को करे. Anyways. आज बोले हाय ने आवाज. Tip one apps slash extensions by. আচ্ছা আচ্ছা Okay, so the first thing is why actually do we need to why actually do we need these extensions to py when working with Flask? Well, the answer is because of circular imports that might arise in the near future. So let me give you an example. Um, Answer not it. Yeah, I think this is it. Okay, let's go my GitHub. That will be more fast. Uh, Problems. So, for example, what actually is a circular import problem? Then we get to see in this that, for example, uh, I wrote that Paco is equals to flask that name. I'm creating an instance of our application and storing it in Paco. But what happens is, okay, this is not it. Okay, so it's not documented well in this particular page. But I hope to soon make you understand of what this is. Um, यो disastrous छ त मेरो beginning त. What the hell? ए कहाँ गयो? I think this, yeah. होइन, so I'll explain what the circle import is about. So think of a circle, I know. So when you think of a circle, think like this, that when you create a particular Python file, say the Python file calls a database, and a database calls a model, but inside the model is again calling the database itself. So when this comes into action, when the database calls the model, and inside the model is already calling the database, then this kind of creates a loop of infinite imports, you know. So the database is importing from model, and similarly the model is importing from the database. Now this keeps on going and going and continue, and gives us the problem of circular imports. Okay, so let's keep on moving. So make sure to make a different extensions file when you are doing a project in Flask or any other projects where database is included. And okay. Okay, now it's SQL Alchemy Classroom. What does this import? We are importing from a particular passive from a particular package of Flask SQL Alchemy, we are bringing SQL Alchemy. This brings SQL Alchemy class from the package of Flask SQL. So this does that. And the next one is, so initially we are only creating the database object. but we need to understand that this is not yet connected, and we will be able to connect it um, later in it that we will be doing on later on. Okay. Okay, so I'll show you what I'm looking onto as well. Okay, now app.extensions, let's say app.extensions instance.py माथि हैन. Okay, app.extensions हैन. From app.extensions import database. Now we are importing database हैन. Another class project app models project.py with app models project.py with हामी यहाँ छौँ है. अब we are inside this particular portion. Now what we do, class project db.model here tells SQL coming that this class is a database table. Let's go fetch it. Okay, so now we created the extensions.py, right? We made sure that we imported SQL Alchemy. We imported the SQL Alchemy class from the package of class SQL. Now we need to insert it inside our project. We need to say that, oh great, we have created a database object and now we want to implement it in our project. So what we will do is we will say that from app.extensions, from app.extensions, from app.extensions, we want to import the database object that we created just now. And now we have to say that class project db.model. Now this is us saying that, hey great, now this is a database table. We are telling SQL Alchemy that great, this is a database table. This is a database table. And then now what do we have now? For suppose we might need for a portfolio, we might need multiple things, but we have to specify a few things like ID, title, description, image URL, or project URL. Maybe search. So I'm currently studying about why actually do we need these things. So for ID, how does your app actually know which project to fetch, edit, or delete by its unique number? Without it, you can't target a specific project. Then title, what is the project called? You need to display this on the page. For suppose in a big title like this. We will be giving the title and description about the portfolio. Maybe then where is the screenshot stored so the front end can display it. Okay, we will need images. So image dash URL is for those images that we have stored. Then we also need the project URL, which is I think optional, because if we are inserting photos, then I don't think we will need to insert about the project, live project or code. Yeah, I think this is optional. When your front end calls a Flask API asking for projects, Flask goes to this table and returns all of this data. Without this column, there is nothing to return. Okay, this particular table, okay, this database table, this particular database table is responsible for actually telling, actually, or less for this. What the hell? So when the front end calls our Flask API asking for projects, asking for projects, so when he's asking for project, जस्तै यो प्रोजेक्टको बारेमा सोद्धाखेरि when he's asking for this project, then class goes to this table and returns all of the data. Okay, great. It returns all of this data. Without these columns there is nothing to return. So without these columns we have nothing to return, is what basically Claude is telling me, that why we need this. Okay, great. So again we will need ID, because we need to recognize, it's like a primary key when we are making a database. So then it will be integer comma primary key equals to true, because we want to recognize in an instant that this particular portfolio belongs to this person or this ID. So we need to be able to distinguish them from other people or other things, kind of like, oh, which project are you doing? Then we can say, oh, I did this, and it will be able to distinguish other things. Okay, I'm next ID title is equals to dv dot column dv dot string 100 nullable default equals to false. description is equal to dv dot column db dot description text comma nullable is equals to false. I'll explain this uh, pixel code in a second. Just wait a second, guys. Is equals to db dot column db dot string then nullable is equals to true, where this can be null. Then finally we need to get test variable is equals to db dot column then db dot string 200 comma nullable. Sure. So this true and false means that we are saying that, oh great, we are keeping id as a primary key in the first phase, and we are saying true because it is automatically generated and this is a primary key, so it is true. In other contexts, for example, when it is written as nullable equals to true or nullable equals to false, we are saying that this part can be nullable, this part can be absent. We don't actually need this part, it's an optional kind of thing. And what we are saying is title and description is a must. This particular field can't be empty, we need this completely filled up, is what we are saying from this part of the code. Now we'll move on. Okay, after this, so till now what did we do? First and foremost, we made sure that we have the SQL Alchemy class from the class SQL Alchemy package. Then we created a object of a database, and we are creating an object of the database. Then we went to admin.py because we want to make use of this database object and all the imports that we have done. The main objective here is that we will create a data. From here we have said that we create a database object. After creating a database object, we are going to create a database. Now after we have created a database, now what we'll do is we will try to connect the SQL Alchemy and the database itself. Now for doing that, will be needing to go to init.py. In here, so this is the heart of our system. Okay, this is the heart of our system, eh? uh, फ्लास्क ऐप बनाउँछ, अहिलेसम्म फ्लास्क ऐप बनाएको छैन है। Flask app and Flask instance loads the config, database path, secret key, etc. Connects extensions like DB to the app. Extensions. DB. This is the heart of our system. It actually does three things. Number one, what it does is it creates the Flask app. Number two, this is it loads the config. So config. Loads the config and loads the config theme. Like you got the connects extensions. Okay. So we are creating Flask app. For creating the Flask app, we have to first import Flask from Flask, import Flask, and after doing this, from app.extensions, import database. Now after importing the database, we create app, create app. Yes. Create app plus name app.config. Okay, now we are doing the config and we are loading the config. So SQL alchemy database URI equals to SQLite equals // portfolio. Hello.